Hello, and welcome back to A Course in Miracles Workbook Lesson 13. Today's lesson is A Meaningless World Engenders Fear. Now, I have forgotten this, so I may have said some things in the previous lesson that aren't exactly true, because I think that I was saying that there was no meaning in the world, but it's really that we are not perceiving any of the truth, really, is what it comes down to, because we are living with our egos, right? And our egos want us to focus on what it is that has no meaning and to create meaning that is not there. So it says, nothing without meaning exists. So there is meaning, but we aren't perceiving the actual meaning. Recognition of meaninglessness arouses intense anxiety in all that separated ones. It represents a situation in which God and the ego challenge each other as to whose meaning is to be written in the empty space that meaninglessness provides. So it's a little abstract, exactly what they're talking about there. But the important thing is to notice that what they're saying is that our ego is in challenge with God, the source, the truth beyond the illusions. So in that sense, God is the truth that exists in all things, but our ego clouds us with delusion, so we are not able to perceive the actual truth of what exists. The ego rushes in frantically to establish its own ideas where fear exists. It is essential that we recognize the meaningless and accept it without fear. If you are fearful, it is certain that you will endow the world with attributes that does not possess and crowd it with images that do not exist. To the ego, illusions are safe devices, as they must also be to you who equate yourself with the ego. So we recognize ourselves as the ego when we really are not our ego. And because of that, we hold on to these illusions because to us, they feel like safety because we have been so conditioned into this fear belief. So we have a fear of escaping the illusions, but it's the illusions that give us the fear. So for our exercise today, we are supposed to have 3 to 4 practice periods of about a minute as usual. For this one, we are to close our eyes and repeat the lesson. A meaningless world engenders fears. Then open your eyes and look around the room as we have been while saying, I am looking at a meaningless world. Then at the end of the minute, close your eyes and conclude with, a meaningless world engenders fear because I think I am in competition with God. Now it says you are most likely to have resistance come up with this thought. And you may think that it is preposterous and not true, but they want us to just go with this and not think about it too much. Don't try to analyze it. Don't try to justify it, and don't think about it after you finish your practice periods. It says this is our first attempt at stating an explicit cause and effect relationship that we are inexperienced in recognizing. So they're saying it is true, but we are not able to recognize that as truth and not to force ourselves to do that. Because again, we don't want to cause strain. You don't want to push these ideas. It is important that we allow a flow interchange of perception.